For the past 9 years, I have been quietly watching what disappears from Target shelves during shortages and what stays fully stocked. While everyone rushes to buy the same trending products they see on social media, I focus on 19 specific items that Target just announced they are discontinuing this week. Number 14 is sitting in the dollar section right now for under $3, and most people walk right past it without realizing what they are about to lose. Guess the problem is that when everyone reads the same lifestyle blogs and buys the same viral products, those are exactly what vanish first. Back in March 2020, I watched every single name brand hand sanitizer get cleared out in 2 hours. But 3 specific Target brand items I am about to show you were fully stocked for another week. Before you hit subscribe, understand this. Target discontinues products for one reason: not enough people are buying them. Which means these 19 items are the exact opposite of what the masses fight over. And if you want to be prepared without joining the panic mob, you need to know what these are before they are gone for good. Hit that subscribe button right now because this information disappears the moment these products leave the shelves. Number 1 is the Up and Up brand Pure Glycerin. This one sounds boring, but it is absolute gold. Most people see glycerin and think it is just for making soap or moisturizer. Here is what nobody talks about. Glycerin is one of the most versatile survival compounds you can stockpile. It preserves food, acts as a natural antifreeze for pipes, soothes burns better than most pharmacy creams, and you can even use it to make your own hand sanitizer that actually works. Last February, during that ice storm that knocked out power across the Midwest, a friend of mine used glycerin mixed with aloe to treat frostbite on her kids' hands because the pharmacies were completely empty. Worked perfectly. Here is what I do. I keep 4 bottles in my bathroom cabinet and 2 in my emergency kit. Pure glycerin at Target costs $4.79 for a 6-ounce bottle. Meanwhile, people are paying $18 on Amazon for fancy survival skincare kits that are just glycerin with a different label. Target is discontinuing this because nobody understands what it actually does, which means it sits there untouched while everyone fights over Aquaphor. Look, prices on basic household goods are rising faster than most families can track. I have done the research for you and put together a free emergency stockpile checklist that lists exactly which discontinued items are worth grabbing and which ones to skip. It will save you from wasting money on products that do not matter and cost less than a single Target run. You can grab it for free at the link in the description so you can stop guessing and start actually preparing with items that work. Number 2 is Market Pantry canned evaporated milk. Before you think this is just for pumpkin pie, stay with me. Evaporated milk has double the protein of regular milk, does not need refrigeration, and lasts 36 months unopened in your pantry. Most people have no idea that evaporated milk is a complete nutrient survival food. 1 can has 8 grams of protein and 25% of your daily calcium. During the formula shortage 2 years ago, pediatricians were quietly telling parents to use evaporated milk mixed with water as an emergency backup because it has the fat and nutrients babies actually need. I keep 12 cans rotated in my pantry at all times. Here's the trick. You can use it in coffee, scrambled eggs, in mashed potatoes, or just drink it straight if you need fast calories. A 12-ounce can at Target costs $1.19. Compare that to the $28 cans of emergency milk powder that taste like chalk and expire in 5 years. Target is pulling this product because plant-based milk has taken over the shelf space. But plant milk has no fat and barely any protein. Your body needs fat, not wants, needs. Evaporated milk delivers. Number 3 is going to surprise you. Shit, the Mondo Llama brand erasable gel pens in the back to school section. I know this sounds weird. Hear me out. These pens are not just for kids. Erasable gel ink is one of the most underrated barter items you can stockpile because it solves a huge problem nobody thinks about until it is too late. You need to take notes during an emergency, but you cannot waste paper. Erasable pens let you reuse the same notebook 50 times. I tested this myself last year during a 2-week power outage. And then I used the same 5 pages in a notebook to track water usage, food inventory, and medication schedules just by erasing and rewriting. Worked flawlessly. A 12-pack at Target costs $3. Meanwhile, preppers are spending $40 on waterproof notebooks they can only use once. Target is discontinuing the Mondo Llama line to make room for more expensive brands. But expensive does not mean better. Grab these now because erasable pens will become currency when people realize paper is not unlimited. Number 4 is Up and Up alcohol prep pads. This one sounds like a no-brainer, but most people are buying the wrong version. Here is the insight nobody shares. Target brand alcohol pads are 70% isopropyl alcohol. Name brands like Curad are only 60%. That extra 10% makes a massive difference for sterilization. Yeah, I learned this the hard way 3 years ago when I had to clean a deep cut on a hiking trip and the weak pads barely did anything. The 70% pads worked instantly. Here is what I do. I keep 2 boxes in my first aid kit and 1 in my car. Each box has 200 pads and costs $6. Compare that to the name brand boxes at $12 for the same amount. Target is cutting this product because they are pushing their higher margin organic and sensitive skin versions. But during an actual emergency, you do not need gentle, you need effective. Stock up now while these are still under $7. Number 5 is Market Pantry tomato paste in the tube, not the can. The tube. And this is critical. Canned tomato paste goes bad once you open it. Tube tomato paste lasts 6 months in the fridge after opening, and you use exactly what you need without waste. Here is what most people miss. Tomato paste is one of the most calorie-dense and versatile foods you can store. You can make soup, pasta sauce, chili base, or even mix it with water for a quick nutrient boost. Last spring, I made an entire week of meals using just tube tomato paste, rice, and canned beans. Cost me $9 total. The tube format at Target is 4 ounces and costs $2.29. Meanwhile, the organic versions are $6 for the same size. And Target is discontinuing the Market Pantry tube because squeeze bottles are trendier now. But trendy does not mean practical. Tubes do not rust, do not require a can opener, and do not take up much space. Grab 6 of these before they are gone. Number 6 is Mondoyama white chalk. Real chalk, not the dustless kind. I know everyone hates chalk dust, but here is what nobody tells you. Traditional white chalk is made from calcium carbonate, which means it is actually edible in small amounts and can be used as an emergency calcium supplement. A teacher I know who spent 20 years in rural schools told me this. During the Depression, kids were given chalk to suck on because it prevented bone disease when milk was not available. I am not saying you should eat chalk for fun. I am saying in a true survival situation, this is a backup option that costs $1 for a box of 12. Real chalk also works for marking, cleaning, and even deterring ants if you draw lines they will not cross. Target is phasing this out for the dustless version, which does not have the same calcium content. It is made from synthetic gypsum, not the same thing. The old school chalk is in clearance bins right now. Go get it. Number 7 is the one I have been waiting to tell you about. Up and Up Sterile Eye Wash. Was 4-ounce bottles. This product is being discontinued, and it is one of the biggest mistakes Target is making. Here is why. Sterile saline eye wash is not just for eyes. You can use it to clean wounds, rinse contact lenses, flush out infections, and even mix with other solutions for emergency medical care. Last year during wildfire season, a family member got ash in their eyes, and we used 3 bottles of this to flush everything out. Saved a trip to the ER. Each bottle cost $3.49. The name brand versions like Bausch and Lomb are $8 for the same size. Here is the kicker. Eye wash has a 4-year shelf life, but it is actually still sterile long after that if the seal is not broken. I have used bottles that were 5 years old. Worked perfectly. Target is cutting this to push their new sensitive formula that costs twice as much. Do not fall for it. Stock up on the original. And number 8 is Market Pantry Instant Non-Fat Dry Milk. Not the whole milk version. The non-fat. And here is why that matters. Non-fat dry milk has almost 0 fat content, which means it does not go rancid like whole milk powder does. It lasts 15 years in a sealed container with an oxygen absorber. I opened a bag from 6 years ago last month. Tasted fine. Here is what I do. I mix 2 tablespoons into oatmeal, pancake batter, or even just water when I need fast protein. One 25-ounce bag costs $8 and gives you 20 quarts of milk. Meanwhile, freeze-dried milk companies are charging $40 for the same amount. Target is discontinuing this because oat milk and almond milk have taken over, but those alternatives have no protein and spoil in days once opened. Non-fat dry milk sits in your pantry for over a decade and gives you the nutrients your body actually needs. This is one of the smartest preps you can make. In number 9 is Mondoyama composition notebooks, the basic black and white ones. These are being phased out for the trendy designed covers that cost twice as much. Here is what people do not realize. Composition notebooks have sewn bindings. Spiral notebooks have metal or plastic that rusts or breaks. During humid conditions or long-term storage, sewn bindings hold up 10 times longer. I have composition notebooks from 12 years ago that are still perfectly intact. Yet spiral notebooks from the same year have completely fallen apart. A composition notebook at Target costs $1.25. The designed ones are $3. You are paying extra for a picture on the cover that does nothing for durability. I buy 20 of these every year and use them for everything. Inventory logs, gardening notes, recipes, and emergency planning. Paper is going to become valuable again. Trust me. Stock up now while they are still in the clearance aisle. In number 10 is Up and Up hydrogen peroxide in the brown bottle. 3% solution. This is different from the clear bottle versions that are stabilized with other chemicals. The brown bottle version is pure hydrogen peroxide and water. That is it. Here is the thing most people miss. Pure hydrogen peroxide breaks down into water and oxygen when exposed to light. That is why it is in a brown bottle. Yes, the stabilized versions have additives that make them last longer on shelves, but those additives can irritate skin and should not be ingested. I keep 4 bottles of the brown bottle version in my medicine cabinet at all times. Use it for cleaning wounds, whitening laundry, disinfecting surfaces, and even treating foot fungus. A 16-ounce bottle costs $1.49. Name brands are $4 for the same thing. Yes, Target is discontinuing the brown bottle version because the clear bottles look more modern, but modern does not mean better when it comes to purity. Get the brown bottles while they are still available. Number 11 is Market Pantry Apple Cider Vinegar. Not the fancy organic kind with the mother, just the regular distilled version. And here is why that is actually better for stockpiling. Distilled apple cider vinegar has an indefinite shelf life because it is already sterile. But the organic versions with the mother can grow mold if not stored correctly. Distilled vinegar can be used for cooking, cleaning, preserving food, treating minor burns, and even as a natural disinfectant. I used this last summer to make quick pickles that lasted 4 months in my fridge without any special equipment. A 32-ounce bottle costs $2.79. The organic versions are $7 for the same size. Target is pushing the organic line because it has higher profit margins. But for long-term storage and versatility, distilled is the winner. I keep 3 bottles rotated in my pantry and replace them as I use them. This is one of those items that does not get attention, but should be in every single prep closet. Number 12 is Mondoyama glue sticks. Not liquid glue, glue sticks. Here is what nobody talks about. Glue sticks are one of the best fire starters you can stockpile. The wax-based formula burns slowly and holds a flame long enough to ignite wet kindling. I learned this from a guy who does wilderness survival training for 15 years. He showed me how a single glue stick can start 6 different fires if you shave it into thin strips. Beyond that, glue sticks are waterproof, do not leak, and last forever in storage. I tested glue sticks that were 8 years old. Still worked perfectly. A pack of 12 at Target costs $2. As fire starting kits on survival websites cost $20 and do the same thing. Target is discontinuing Mondoyama to make room for Elmer's, which costs twice as much. But Elmer's glue sticks are the exact same formula. You are just paying for the brand name. Stock up on the cheap ones now. Number 13 is Up and Up cotton rounds, the 200 count bag. Yet these are different from cotton balls because they are pressed flat, which means they take up way less space and do not fall apart when wet. Here is what makes them essential. Cotton rounds can be used for wound care, applying disinfectant, removing makeup obviously, but also as emergency fire tinder when soaked in petroleum jelly. I keep a bag of cotton rounds coated in Vaseline in my car emergency kit. Each one burns for 3 minutes. That is enough time to start a fire even in wind and rain. A bag of 200 cotton rounds costs $3.60. Cotton balls cost about the same, but you get half the usability because they shred and scatter. Target is cutting the 200 count size to push the 100 count, which costs the same per unit but gives you less. Do the math. Buy the big bags while they are still on shelves. Number 14 is the one I mentioned at the start. Bullseye Playground Chalk. The big chunky kind in the dollar section. is right now it is $2.50 for a bucket of 20 pieces. This is not the same as the classroom chalk I mentioned earlier. Playground chalk is thicker and made from calcium sulfate, which makes it weather resistant. Here is why that matters. You can use playground chalk to mark trails, signal for help, write messages on pavement that lasts through rain, and even grind it into powder for various survival uses. During a search and rescue operation 3 years ago, volunteers used playground chalk to mark which houses had been checked. The marks stayed visible for 2 weeks, even through storms. You cannot do that with regular chalk. Target is discontinuing the Bullseye brand to focus on Crayola, which costs $6 for less chalk. This is one of the best value preps sitting in the dollar section right now, and nobody is paying attention. Number 15 is Market Pantry lemon juice in the plastic bottle. Not fresh lemons, not the glass bottle, yet the plastic squeeze bottle. Here is the difference. Plastic bottles are lighter, do not break, and the lemon juice inside has been pasteurized, which means it lasts 18 months after opening if refrigerated. Fresh lemons last 1 week. Glass bottles are heavy and shatter. I keep 2 plastic bottles of lemon juice in my fridge and 2 in my pantry at all times. Use it for cooking, obviously, but also for cleaning hard water stains, treating sore throats, preserving cut fruit, and even as a natural bleach alternative for laundry. A 15-ounce bottle costs $2.39. The glass bottles are $4, and the organic versions are $6. Target is phasing out the plastic bottles because glass looks premium, but premium does not mean practical when you are storing for emergencies. Plastic is lighter, safer, and cheaper. Get these while they last. Number 16 is Up and Up ibuprofen liquid gels. Not the tablets, liquid gels. And here is what makes them different. Liquid gels absorb faster, which means pain relief kicks in within 15 minutes instead of 30. During a dental emergency 2 years ago, I took liquid gel ibuprofen and the pain was gone in 12 minutes. Tablets took almost 40 minutes to work. Liquid gels also have a longer shelf life because the gelatin casing protects the medicine from moisture better than tablet coatings. A bottle of 80 liquid gels costs $8.49. Its name brand Advil is $14 for the same count. Target is discontinuing the Up and Up liquid gels to streamline their pain relief section. But this is one of those cases where the generic is actually better in terms of value and effectiveness. I keep 2 bottles in my medicine cabinet and 1 in my car. Stock these now before they are replaced with the more expensive versions. Number 17 is Market Pantry white rice in the 5-pound bag. Not jasmine, not basmati. It's plain long grain white rice. And here is why that specific type matters. Long grain white rice has the lowest moisture content, which means it lasts the longest in storage. With proper sealing, white rice lasts 30 years. I am not exaggerating. Jasmine and basmati have higher oil content, which makes them go rancid faster. A 5-pound bag of Market Pantry white rice costs $4.69. Fancy rice brands are $9 for the same weight. Here is what I do. Yes, I buy 10 bags, seal them in food-grade buckets with oxygen absorbers, and forget about them. That rice will outlast most of the people reading this. Target is reducing shelf space for basic white rice because specialty rices have better margins. But specialty does not mean better for long-term prep. White rice is boring. White rice is also bulletproof. Get it while it is still this cheap. Number 18 is Mondo Yama pencil cap erasers, the little pink ones that fit on top of pencils. And these are being discontinued, and here is why you should care. Pencil cap erasers are made from rubber that stays soft for decades if stored properly. I have erasers from 15 years ago that still work. But beyond erasing, they have a survival use most people never think about. You can use them as waterproof covers for small electronics, as grips for tiny tools, or even melt them down as emergency rubber sealant. A pack of 24 costs $1.50. You will not find them cheaper anywhere else. Target is cutting them because mechanical pencils have taken over. But mechanical pencils break. Regular pencils last forever. And if you are stockpiling pencils, you need erasers that actually work. These are in clearance bins right now. Go grab them. Number 19 is the last one, and it is critical. Up and Up antibiotic ointment. Not the name brand Neosporin, the Target generic. Here is the thing. The active ingredients are identical. Neomycin, ciprofloxacin, and bacitracin in the exact same concentrations. but the Target version costs $3.79 for a 1-ounce tube. Neosporin costs $7.49 for the same size. You are paying double for a brand name that does nothing extra. I keep 6 tubes of the generic version in my first aid supplies. Use it for cuts, scrapes, burns, and even minor infections. A guy who worked in pharmaceutical distribution for 20 years told me that most store-brand antibiotics are made in the same factories as the name brands. Same formula, different label. Target is discontinuing this product to push their natural healing line, which costs even more and does not have the same proven effectiveness. Do not fall for marketing. Get the generic antibiotic ointment while it is still available. While everyone else is panicking over viral TikTok products that sell out in hours, you now know 19 items that Target is quietly removing from shelves that actually matter for your family's preparedness. These are not trendy, they are not exciting, but they work, they last, and most importantly, they will still be there when the crowd moves on to the next thing. Drop a comment and tell me which of these 19 you are grabbing first. Next video, I am breaking down the 7 most popular emergency foods that preppers waste money on, and the cheaper alternatives sitting at your grocery store right now that do the job better. You do not want to miss that.